Hey guys, so this is part 1 of my beginner scripting tutorial. So the first thing we need to learn is how to navigate Roblox Studio because that's obviously the most foundational thing we need. So when you boot up Roblox Studio, you'll probably be met with something that looks similar to this, and there'll be a lot of templates that you can use to start your game off. In order to create our blank game first, all we have to do is just click on one of these 3 templates. They all work fine, but we'll use the baseplate for this tutorial. So just click on that, and then Roblox Studio will boot it up, and now we have something that looks like this. Now the first thing we need to know is how to move around in Roblox Studio. So you can use WASD to move, right click to move your camera, Q and E to move up and down. You can hold shift to slow down the movement. And then you can use middle mouse if you have one to pan the camera like this. I honestly don't use that one that much, but that's how you navigate the Roblox Studio camera. Now the next thing we want to learn is how to actually manipulate the objects. So you have these 4 tools here that are very useful. All of these allow you to transform the objects. So with select, if you hold on an object, you can drag it around. And then with move, you can use arrows to align movement transformation. And then you can use scale to stretch your objects. And if you hold command or CTRL, you can unify them on both sides just for alignment. And then lastly, you have rotation, which allows you to rotate things like that. Another thing is we might want to change the color of our objects. So what we can do is we can click on this object, and you can see there's color and material, and we can basically select what color we want as well as what material to go along with it. But honestly, these features are kind of limiting. Like, these colors, they're not that much. So what we need to do is we need to access some more advanced features. And these advanced features will come in the form of the Explorer and Properties tab. If you don't see them, then go to the View tab, and then you can enable them if they're not already enabled in your studio. Now, to explain the Explorer tab basically shows everything that's in your game. So you can see that underneath the workspace, there is the spawn location, which is what this part is right here. And then there's the base plate, which is this entire plate. Another thing to note is there's also camera and terrain. We won't get to that yet, but like that one's a bit more complicated. We won't talk about that today. Moving along, the next thing we need to know is the Properties tab. And the Properties tab, basically, if you click on an object like this spawn location, you can see that the Properties tab shows a lot of attributes and traits that this spawn location has. And we're going to explore these properties a bit. You know how I said that the colors are really limiting? Like, come on. What if we want a better shade of yellow? Then we can go into the Properties tab and we can click on this color, and we'll actually have a color wheel that we can use, which gives us more specifically the colors that we actually want. Additionally, we can also change the material here, and you can see there's a lot of names. The default is smooth plastic. Now I want to talk about some specific Okay, so what we have here is my favorite YouTube channel, LankyBox. So first I'm going to show you the anchored property, and what it basically does is it keeps things afloat. So as of now, you can see that these guys are safe on that platform. If I turn off anchored, then they kind of just die. And another way to anchor is by clicking this button here. This basically toggles it. It's pretty efficient. Now the next thing we want to know about is the can collide. And the can collide allows objects to touch, and if can collide is off, then things will go through it. So if I turn can collide off here, LankyBox will just go off the platform. Another thing we need to understand is what a parent and child is. To summarize it, it's kind of like the name implies. Anything underneath the parent is a child. And let me give you some examples, okay? Okay, so as you can see here, I have a bacon man and a bacon woman. And you can tell that this bacon man is related to this bacon child here because they seem to share the same Roblox face. Now, as you can tell, the bacon child is the child of the bacon man because the bacon child is underneath the bacon man. And meanwhile, the bacon man is the parent of the bacon child. What we're going to do is we're going to move this bacon child so it's underneath the workspace. And when this happens, it means that the bacon man is no longer the parent of the bacon child. Now I'm just going to move this over here, and if I put the bacon child underneath the bacon woman, then the bacon woman becomes the parent of the bacon child, and therefore they can leave together. Now, the next thing we want to know is how to insert objects, because as of now we've only had spawn location and baseplate, but what if we want to add things? So one way to add things is you can just use a part, you can just click it. Additionally, you can also use some of these like spheres, there's wedges, there's corner wedges and cylinders. And honestly, I don't use it that much. That's how you summon the basic shapes. But if you want to do something else, what you can do is if you go in the Explorer, you can right click on Workspace, select Insert Object, and then there'll be a list of all the things you can insert. So let's insert a part into Workspace, and you'll see that a part just appears here. Now, if you insert a part into something like lighting, then it won't work. If you try to insert a part into material surface, it won't work. None of these will work. Only the workspace shows you what's actually in your game. All of these are for something completely different. And thanks to insert object, we're able to insert a lot more complicated things. So for an example, let me create a part here. What we can do is we can insert a highlight, and it will basically create those highlights that you see in Roblox games so many times. Like, let me just play it and show you. Like, look at that. That's what a highlight is. That's how you add one into your Roblox game. And additionally, it doesn't have to be something you insert in the workspace. For an example, you can also go into lighting and you can submit something like color correction, and then you can just change this. So I guess now you have a rave. You can also like use the properties to adjust them to your liking. One important thing we should know how to insert is scripts. So insert object, you can see that there's script, but you can see that there's actually 3 types of scripts. I won't explain what each script does, but for now, to keep it simple, we'll just insert a script into Workspace. That's also the basics of Roblox Studio. Let me know if you have any questions. In the next tutorial, I'll be talking more about coding. So yeah, bye.